Okay. Okay. Think we're rocking and rolling here. Let's see, how do I do this? I want to see my chat. Let's click on that. Not sure that's working. Let's click on this. Okay, that also, oh, there we go. Now it's working. Just took it a second. Okay. Let's do the old check on the phone. Make sure the stream is actually streaming. All right, we are streaming. Let's do the old. Sometimes I actually do know how to operate technology. All right. I wanted to do more to prepare for this, but you know, life got crazy. I was going to set up my Lando site at a time. But I guess I get to do that live. How do we do this again? Make directory. We're going to call this corridor. You know what? Let's just call it soccer. Whatever. Lando. I think I need to start Docker first. I forgot about that. I used to have it set up with the Linux version of Docker, which was better. I don't remember why I switched, but now I'm using the Windows version of Docker, which means I actually have to like start Docker manually before I do Lando stuff. When you set it up through Linux, you do Lando stuff, it just starts Docker for you. There's probably a way to make that happen, but I don't know how. What am I doing? Lando init. And I need to grab something from my notes. Did I do that right? I think so. WordPress. Let's go. Okay. And then it always puts it in a folder called WordPress. If you do that, you'll see there's WordPress. So we have to do this, move everything from WordPress to the home directory. Now we can do Lando start. Welcome to my viewer. I don't know who you are, but I see that someone is viewing. We are setting up our website, our local site. I'm using Lando. Pretty, I don't know, it's pretty good, I think, solution for building local WordPress websites. I don't have to try to manage a server or manage a, you know, whatever. All the stuff that you usually have to do, I think it's just pretty easy with Lando. Let's go ahead and create my database and we should be good to go. The only thing I need to do is update to PHP. I haven't figured out, if you know how to do this, I haven't figured out how to create like a global Lando file or something. Every site that it spins up, it makes it PHP 7.4, and so then I have to do what I'm about to do, which is go into the Lando file, and I never remember how to do this, so I open a file I've already done this in. Let's see, this one should have it. Oh, that's all I do. All right, and let's dump that in here. Oh, sorry. Yes, please don't come down. What was I doing? Oh yeah, PHP 8.2, save, and then we just have to build my terminal. Let's bring that back and just say Lando rebuild. Now it will be PHP 8.2 because Etch requires PHP, I think 8.0 or higher. Yeah, I do that a lot too, Viking Monkey. it just kind of depends. I have a domain, and then I oftentimes will just create a subdomain on that domain, and then the site will be, you know, live, so I could share it with like a client and say, here's the progress I'm making. For something like this, I'm just going to do it locally. Let's see, this should be working. Yep. Supper. All right. Here we go. Let's see where 39 is the latest version I have downloaded. We'll add our theme. Okay, and then I just have to grab my Etch license key, and then we can actually start building. I wanted to do all this before I started the live, and then life got a little crazy around here. You know how it goes. Here we go. Now, I just need to get this to update. I think if I just deactivate and reactivate, no, let's try updating this. There we go. Get the latest version, and we are ready to rock and roll. So, what are we even building? Let's take a look at the current website that we are going to rebuild. Now, I did not build this website, I did not design it. I took over the website a couple years ago and basically just left it how it was and made a couple minor adjustments. It's all just like stock images from some theme that I think they originally built this in like GoDaddy or something. And I just basically rebuilt it to look exactly the same with Themify. So today we're going to completely rebuild it because I'm just tired of it. And we're going to be doing it in Etch, of course. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm trying something new. This may or may not work out. I asked AI to create a simple CSS framework for me, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to. I hate coming up with variable names and whatnot, and I haven't figured out how to use ACSS yet. So, where's my website? That's my question. Let's just open it again. Here it is. So it came up with a little CSS framework. We're going to give it a shot here. It came up with a bunch of variables. They look pretty standard. Primary, dark, light, secondary, blah, blah, blah. We'll use those. We got some spacing variables and some radius variables. And then it decided to for like buttons and stuff, it decided to create a bunch of utility classes, so we'll drop those over here. Don't know how many of these we're going to use, but we got, you know, button, hover, active, primary, all sorts of stuff that we're going to try to possibly use. So now that we've done that, let me find. Here is kind of what we're going to do. I'm not going to copy this exactly, but I'm going to mostly use this layout. And this is coming from Replit, and like we're not going to have this section, but I think we're pretty much going to have everything else on the home page. This, I don't think I'm going to do it this way because it would just take a lot of work. The league just emails me like a PDF of rules. And so I'm probably just going to embed a PDF on this page. That's all we're doing on the actual page. Just something like this. forgot to add the featured image there. That's why there's a big empty space there. I hate this button. This entire button should be clickable, not just the word view page. Here we go. So this is probably what I'm just going to do, something like this. I'll make it taller so you don't have to scroll like this. But I'm just going to embed the PDF that they send me rather than try to create this accordion type thing. I might ask them for like an FAQ. We could put that on the website as an accordion. I think that could be cool. Registration. This also is not going to be like this because we use a third-party thing to register. So we'll have some information on the page like this, and then there'll just be links. So you click on this to go actually register. So I'm not going to copy this exactly. Of course, we're going to, you know, modify it for our own uses, but we're going to mainly use this. Yeah, I can turn the music down. Sorry. Let's see. I'm just going to try doing it in OBS. Let me know if that's better. What else? Yeah, that's it. And then for the contact form, I'm just going to use Formidable Forms. I think that's what I always use. I have a lifetime license with them, so might as well. But let's probably go ahead and start with the header. Luckily, this is a very standard looking header. I don't know if I'm going to implement a dark mode or not. I just noticed that it did that. AI loves to do that. I think we'll start with the header. We'll probably turn this, we'll definitely turn this into a component, and I think I can use it, just reuse the same component for this down here. Home rules registration. What is it leaving out? Oh, it's leaving out home. I'll probably take home out of this too. Yeah, let's get started. So obviously, as the world's worst web developer, I'm not going to sit here and code out an entire header from scratch. I'm going to cheat and use Etch's template for a nav, which is under what is elements, dynamic elements, basic nav. So this is kind of cool, and by kind of cool I mean really cool. Okay, they changed this page on me. Copy navigation. Oh, did they finally? Okay, very cool. You used to have to copy the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript for the nav, and then copy the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript for the burger button, and then the JSON loop, whatever. They finally updated this so we can just copy the JSON and just paste that in, and it will just drop the entire thing in there. So this is going to be even faster than I thought it was going to be. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see. So they gave us just the navigation and the burger. So I still have to create my header element. If I can find, where did it put my website? I thought it was in the same tab. I have too many tabs open. Seriously, where is it opening it up at? Huh. All right, so we edit and we go to our header template, or I'm sorry, our index template. What is all that? Core template part, core template part. This is interesting. I did activate my theme, right? Oh, I need to, yeah, I did not activate the Etch theme, first of all. And then I'm going to go ahead and create my home page, because WordPress in 2025 still thinks that it's a blogging platform. And they think I want to put my blog on the home page. I do not want to do that. Here we go, static. Okay. There we go. This looks better. I'm going to rearrange my stuff here. I like to have this over here, and then I like my CSS over here, so it can be nice and tall and cascading like. I love that you can just move this stuff around anywhere you want. Okay, so let's see, what do we got? We're doing the index template, so we need to create the header. So if I just add a section here, I think we want to get rid of the container. I'm just going to call this header. And then how do I want to do this? I want to create a component. And I want to add a slot in here. Not a content slot. We're going to call this, how does it tell me to do it? I'm just going to call it nav since that's what I'm putting in there. I think then what I do is save, exit, and now I can add something to the nav, which, can I just hit Control V now? Or do I need to add something in there first, select it, and then hit Control V? Let's try this again. Copy. Maybe I didn't actually copy that. Maybe I forgot to do that. Come back here, paste. There it is. There it is. Look at that. Crazy. This includes all the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript. It just dropped in a component and it's ready to go. I just need to now pick the right loop. So it created this prop here for basic nav, a nav area label, some accessibility stuff. Not sure what all this is here. I'm just going to trust them if they know what they're doing. And then for basic nav, I'm going to need to update that. So let's go ahead and create our loop, our nav loop. We're going to say, I think I want to, I'm just going to use basic nav, but I'm going to rename it. And if I look at the site, I think this is the only one that has a sub menu. This one technically has a sub menu, but it's the same page, so it shouldn't be a sub menu. So this will be a pretty easy menu to build. Let's see, this one will need a sub menu, and it's just 2 options, so we'll get rid of this third option here. This one doesn't need any children. And how many do we even have? We're not going to have home. I decided we're not doing that. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got about join. Which one has... Okay, this is join. And then we got membership and registration. Yeah, it's kind of painful right now because they haven't built the like UI for this yet. So it feels very manual and techy, but once they build the actual UI for it, it will be a lot easier. I actually don't mind this. It's kind of fun, makes me feel like I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah, it will be very nice when there's just a nice UI for this. League competition. I don't even know. That's a weird name to call this. I'm going to call it divisions because that's what it's doing. It's just talking about the divisions that we have. Once you get this set up, it's nice. I like... it's just a good way to create menus because I can reuse this loop, so I can add this menu anywhere very easily, and use and have all the same items. Contact and schedule. All right. That should be good. Let's see what this looks like and see if I broke it. I just need to change the name in here because I changed the name from basic nav to just nav. There it is. Oh, it's still broken for some reason. Let's see what happened. Let's edit this again. Nav. It's working here. And then let's see, our loop props dot, oh, I need to change it in here. Props dot, no, it's still, the prop name is still basic nav, so that should stay the same. Why would it be working here and not working here? Oh, that's why. Dummy. Okay. There's our menu, and it just works. And then we can add the hamburger menu, same way we did. We just copy and paste it in. We'll just grab this. We'll come here, paste that in. There's our burger. I don't think we need to edit this. I think we just... Let's test it out here real quick. Yep. So I need to style it so it's in the right place, but it is working. So that's cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see here. I think I just need to do, yeah, we'll just do margin lift auto on that. Margin inline start. And then we should be good to go. So let's edit this. And we want it to be on the button. Give myself a little more space over here. We'll go right here. Margin inline start auto. And that should take care of that. Yep. All right. Cool, cool, cool. That's our nav. We need to get our logo in here. Do we even have a logo? Yeah, we have this guy. Let's save this. Logo. So it's going to need a dark background for sure. I don't mind kind of keeping the same sort of look here. I just built another website with this kind of header. Okay, what was I doing? Logo. So we're going to drop the logo. I think we just drop it inside the nav slot, not in the nav component, but next to it. And we'll upload our image here. Okay, that looks decent. We need to... I think we just need to make our header we should give it a class. Oops. And we'll say it's probably already display flex. So we just need to say flex direction row. It's too bad you can't see what's going on. I'm sure they'll fix that when you're editing the component. Okay, so that's working. Let's see what it looks like though. Yep, so we need to, now that it's flex direction row, oh, it's killing me. Let's see here. If we do, flex always gets me. If we do, let's see. No, that doesn't work because then it pushes that over. I feel like I'm overthinking this. This usually... Oh, so the slots. So the slots are helpful because if I was to just drop... let's go ahead and edit this component and then just drop a component inside this component. Like we'll drop another burger. component in here, just throw it up here and save. If I want to edit this component, if I right click on this, I can't edit it because I'm already in a component editor. So I can't edit a component that's inside of a component. So I'll delete that and I'll come out of the component. Because we added this slot to the component, and then we exited the component and we added our other components inside that slot, now I can edit these components. So it's just an easy way to make it so you can edit a component that's inside of another component. So this doesn't add a wrapper on the front end or anything like that. If we go look at the code, we're not going to see an extra div or anything. It's just for managing components within components. Let's see here. I'm going to, let's see. I'm definitely overthinking this. Oh wait. Can I type? Yeah, I'm definitely overthinking this. Oh yeah, that's how I did that. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and get this inside of, I probably should have put a container inside this header, so let's just do that. I deleted the container, and now I'm regretting deleting the container. So we'll add a container. We're going to add our slot inside our container. And then we're going to choose a max width for this container. And probably, let's check our styles. Did it give us anything for that? No, we just have some spacing. Okay, there's, oh, container, max width. It did create a container for us. Okay, and it even used the container class, which I just used. So let's go see what that looks like right off the bat. Okay. We didn't give the image any dimensions, so. But yeah, we got our container, 1200 pixels. I think that's okay. We can change that later if we want to, but I'm going to stick with it for now. And then we just need to give that container the display flex that we put on here. And I think I'm going to give this another class. I'm going to say it's my header container. We'll add that to the container. Okay. We'll give it a background of black. We probably have a variable for that. Blue, green, gray. Okay, we don't. Well, since it's just black, I'm just going to say black. I'm not the kind of guy who thinks every single thing has to be a variable. All right. And of course, we need to change the color of our, yep, change the color of all that. And then I think we'll just do a space between to shove the text over to the right. Easy peasy. Let's see, that's justify. I never remember which one it is. Yep. Okay. So it didn't seem to give a lot of padding or whatnot to the container. We just have a padding 0 for top and bottom, and then a little bit of padding on the left. So is that enough padding? Yeah, I think it's probably enough padding. And it's using spacing medium. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this. give it just the same padding all the way around, which did not work. Did I do it wrong? Header container. Oh, mine's being overridden. Okay. I probably just want the container. Yeah, I think I'm just going to actually update this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see, we're getting a background color of white, I think, on the nav etch element. So let's edit this guy. Background color. Nope, that's still a variable. Where are we going? Where are we going? Here we go. Background color. We get rid of that. Yep, we'll get rid of that. And then our color. Color is in here. We're etch nav item. Blah, 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 blah. Here it is. Color. We need it to be white, or at least very light. Primary light. Let's try that. Let's see what primary light looks like. Oops. Color. I just had it. Where'd it go? I just had it. Here it is. Looks like their primary light is a blue color. So I'm going to just change that. Do you not use the styling panel? No, I don't use the styling panel ever. I did a video where I built a site using it just to show that it can be used. But I don't like it. I feel like it's actually faster to just go to the CSS rather than clicking around trying to find what I'm looking for in the style panel. What was I updating? A variable. Primary light. I'm basically just going to make this white for now. Feels silly creating a variable for white, but here we are. Okay, and then the nav. It's kind of weird. The nav they give you creates a whole bunch of variables, which is fine. It's fine. Where is the hover and focus? Here we go. Focus, 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 visible, outline. Oh, where's the color? Hover, color. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And we probably just want it to be like so I have an ACSS license. I have not figured out how to use it properly yet. I will eventually, but I haven't yet. There's still just a few things about it that I don't. I feel like I'm fighting it to do what I want, and that's obviously not the point of it. So I'm just not using it correctly. Whenever I watch Kevin build something with ACSS, it's just so fast because he's familiar with it. He knows how to use it. So I just need to get to that point where I actually know how to use it. Where etch nav button? Okay. I probably should just update nav link color. That would be the easiest thing to do. Nav link color, hover. Where's just, oh, nav link color. Here we go. And we'll call this primary light. There we go. Easy peasy. That's what I should have done. And I might even just, I don't know. I'll just delete that because we don't want a background on it. And then these need to be updated. Now, do I just want to make that black as well? Black background on the sub, or I kind of like it being different. White background on the sub menu with black text. I'm going to try that. Maybe you can tell me if you think it looks bad. Come on, what do I need to hover on to get this to work? Come on. It's not the SVG. There. Okay. Oh, it's already... Am I just blind? I'm blind. It was already working. Alright, so this, it's a UL with class Etch nav dropdown. So we could just make that black. Or no, we were gonna make it white, but give the color black. So that would be... Can we just add it to this? No, let's not do that. Let's do LI? LIA? What do we got going on here? Yeah. Okay. I don't know, what do you think? Should I just make this background black with white text like the regular nav, or does it kind of look cool with having a different color? Just want to make sure I'm not doing too much, you know? Where Etch nav list, Etch nav drop down, Etch nav fly out. Yeah, some of this stuff, it's nice that they have the nav that you can copy and paste to start from, but it does still take a little bit of, you know, you gotta make it match your design and what you want. So there's always work involved, even if they try to do their best to speed up your workflow, you're still gonna have to do something. And I can get lost in the weeds sometimes with CSS. So I think I'm gonna do this. I'm going to get rid of my JavaScript panel since I don't need to see that. It's just taking up space. Let's see, drop down. Do we have any other, what's this? Drop down toggle, no, don't want that. Where Etch has drop down, nope. Where Etch drop down, okay. So background color, I think this is where I want to say, just test this. Okay, so that is working. So, but we want to change the color. So that would be, I mean, I could just put it in here. I just want to make sure they don't have, yeah. All right, so I'm going to say, where Etch nav drop down, I just come in here and say dot Etch nav, I think it's item, maybe not, let me see. Oh, and then I need to do Etch nav item, which is the LI, yep, Etch nav item, and then the link, so A. There we go. All right. Cool. And then I think I'll add some margin to this header so there's some space above it. Kind of like how we have here, just kind of this floating header like that. Where's our actual design that we were going to somewhat copy? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this hero section, pretty standard. It's kind of what we already have. Just a big image. This is technically a slider, which is dumb because there's only one slide. But yeah, we'll do something similar. Do we want to do full, like the full height like this? Or like this, where it's not quite the full height? I don't know. We'll see. We'll play with that when we get there. But I think we're basically done with this header. I'm going to give it a little bit of a margin. Block start of like, well, what do we got here for spacing? I'm gonna start with the big spacing. I think that's gonna be spacing XXL. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Is that too much? Nope, I like it. Yeah, I don't hate this design. It's all stock photos, which is like, whatever. We're never gonna get an actual photo from our league that looks as cool as this, right? You know, we could have someone sitting behind a goal all Sunday waiting for a picture like this, and it's not gonna happen. So, but I might try to replace some of these other pictures with some real photos, if I can. I might even just use this same image again. It's definitely cooler than this. Just an empty soccer field. I think I'll stick with this kind of layout here, but I'm gonna use this image. I think there's a couple other images in here. That's probably the best one, but there's like so there's this, which is the one they're using right now, and there's this. That one's okay. I think this one's the best one though. These are all small. None of these would work as a big hero image. That was okay. Yeah, let's see here. Do I want to... I hate this gap up here. I think it's because of the admin bar. Hate the admin bar, dude. Nope, it's not the admin bar. There's, for some reason, it's just a gap up there. Interesting. Yeah, well, one of the reasons we're rebuilding it. So I think I need to make the header probably position absolute, or fixed actually. And then, yeah, let's do that. Which means we don't need the margin anymore. Position fixed. Let's see here, top. And then I think, do we have to... I thought they did that stuff in such a way that made it so it was easy to override. I really have to do an important on that just to override their The reset? Oh, it's in... I see. They put it in the nav. Yeah, the header probably doesn't need to be a component, to be honest. I do that just because that's what their docs used to recommend. Well, no. Okay, here's why. Because if you create a template later for like a taxonomy or something, then you would just drop the header component on that template and it'll be exactly the same. And then if you edit the header template or the header component, it'll update everywhere. So for instance, if you come here to templates, I don't have any taxonomies. Well, I guess I have the basic, but if I create a template for the category archive, then I'll have my header component up here. And because it's a component, if I edit it in one instance, it will edit it everywhere. So that's why you want to make the header a template. Let's see here. Set header to relative. Nope, we want ours to be fixed. All right, let's see how broken it is now. All right, it's not broken at all. We need to make the burger white, and our menu is broken now that oh, it's not broken, it's just the colors. Yeah, because the color, and that it'll be fine, I think, when we have our background on there, that they should show up just fine. So I think we're good on the header. Let's get out of our index template and create our first page. We can do that in Etch. We don't have to leave Etch to create a page, although I just remembered we already created our home page. So we'll just go edit the home page. This is where it gets fun. Let's see, we'll drop in a section here. And we need, yeah, the more I think about it, I feel like I'm just going to rebuild the current site rather than using the layout. Well, I like some of it. I think I'm going to use this. I like this section. But I'm leaning towards just mostly emulating the current design, to be honest. Let's do a text and a header and 2 buttons. So text, header, button. Heading, sorry, not header. Rules, and register. Let's see what happens when I give it the button class that it gave me. We also need those buttons to be in a div. We're going to call this CTAs. I think that's it, right? Yep. Text, heading, button. So we're going to call this the hero section. And then create some BEM classes. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to add some padding because our header is fixed. So we just need to add some padding to our section so that the content is where it's supposed to be. Does our header have a fixed height? I don't believe it does. So let's just do some guesswork, eh? Some good old guess and check. You know what, actually, yeah, let's see here. Let's do this part later. We're gonna do this part later. We're going to, we basically want this stuff in the middle, right? So if we got these three things. If we come up here to the container and we say, actually I think it would be align items center. Nope, I want to justify. And we're going to make this particular section, I'm going to say height 100 viewport height. And oh, you know what? I need to do this on the section. Okay. Container, we're going to give the class of container, so it uses our padding and whatnot. What's our text? Welcome to our league. None of this text is selectable. That's so annoying. Is this... That's not part of the image, right? That would be annoying. No, it's just a weird... What are they doing? This slider plugin is weird. Again, there's no reason it should even be a slider since there's only one slide, but I didn't build it. Welcome to our league. And then just Corridor Soccer Association. Rules. Kind of, there's a lot of different ways you can update text. I think you can actually just, can you do it up here? No, you can't do it here, but you can come down here, or you can come over here and update the text. Registration. Okay. We'll save that. I'm going to give the hero, the hero background image, which I need to upload. So let's do that quick. If I come here, use this little Chrome extension to download images. For some reason it won't find the image I actually want to download. That's cool. It's right here. Yeah. Corridor Soccer Hero background, whatever. And then we'll upload it. Another thing we can do right in Etch, we can upload images. We don't have to leave Etch to do that. It's kind of nice. I didn't mean to do that. What did I just do? Okay. Oh, let's see. How does background work? It's just background image. Is that a thing? And then URL and the URL of our image. Look at that. And I'm going to do this real quick. Okay. Easy peasy. Background repeat, no repeat. Background size cover. Yeah, I think that's what I want. And then I'm wondering, now that we have this background, yeah, I'll still probably give this a background of like black or something. I mean, it's readable, but I don't think it looks great just dropping the text on top of that background like that. Maybe even just like not even fully opaque background. Let's add it to the whole nav. I do black, but then I'd make it like, does that look kind of neat? So you can still kind of see the background through it. I kind of like that. I still need to update that so it's white. There's the button. How are they doing this? They're doing a before and after. Background. And then the span itself. That's how we need to do that. Okay. Does that explanation make sense as to why the header should be a component? All right, Etch burger, button, span. Oh yeah, they nested everything under button here, so let's see, background, bar, burger, dark color. Is this the one? Yep. This is the one. So we're gonna say primary light. And also Etch burger lines, primary light. Oops. Yeah, much better there. Much better. All right, this needs work. Just white text, I'm assuming, will probably look the best here. Big old fat text. What font are they using? Probably some dumb font that's proprietary. Oswald. Everything's Oswald. Roboto for the logo. Oswald. Okay, so it looks like regular text is Roboto. Pretty much everything else is Oswald. That is a Google font, right? Right? If you don't know, you can easily add fonts while using Etch by just using the built-in Duduberg full-site editor experience. We'll just go to Editor, Styles, Typography, and we can say Install Fonts. You can upload your own font, but then if you go to Install Fonts, you have the entire Google library. Yeah, so that's not your fault. The reason that is what you do is because that's what page builders encourage people to do. They use incorrect terms like header template, that they should have been calling the header template a header component this whole time. A template is like a whole page template. So you create a template that determines what your pages look like. You create a template that determines what your posts look like. You can create templates that determine what specific post types look like. But your header is not a template, not in actual web development language. It's a component. So it works the same way you're thinking. You created what they call a header template, which is set to apply everywhere. That's basically what we're doing. We created a header component, and then we just add that to whatever template we create, and it'll be the same everywhere. And then just like when you log into your website and you edit your header template, that change that you just made takes place everywhere on your whole website, right? That's how components work. Everywhere you add that component, yeah, it's a header.php file. So that's not how. I actually don't know how Etch does it in the back end. I don't know if they're creating files for that, but they should be referring to the header as a component, because it gets a little weird because of how PHP works. You create like a header PHP, like you said, and then you can type include header PHP and it'll drop that header PHP file everywhere. So it's just, in web design language, that kind of thing is typically referred to as a component, because it's something that you can drop anywhere. You could drop it 100 different places on your website. You only have to edit it in one place, and that edit takes place everywhere. So yeah, in normal web design language, you would call a header a component. You wouldn't call it a template, because then it's kind of confusing. Well, then what's the difference between a header and the whole index template, right? They're two different things. The index template is a template. The header is a component. The nav is a component. You can take that nav and drop it anywhere, which I'm probably going to do later. I'm going to take this same nav component that we created, and I'm going to use it in the footer. So that way, if I add an item to my menu, it'll update in the header and footer at the same time. I don't have to edit my header and edit my footer. Yeah, Kevin talks about that a lot. You should sometime pop into one of Kevin's live streams and refer to his header as a template, and he'll probably start ranting for 15 minutes. He he's very passionate about using correct terminology, which I agree with. I used Themify before I started using Etch, and they also call everything a template. So I would go in and create a header template just like you were describing. But then I would also create like a page template. They just called everything a template. And so Kevin's trying to get folks to, use the right language, which I think will benefit all of us. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, fonts. Yeah, we're gonna add some fonts. And I think I forgot, what was it, Oswald? Is that a font? Yes, that's a Google font. So we can select all these, click install, and we're done. We also need Roboto. Yep, just regular Roboto, select all of those. You can select the specific ones you're gonna use. That's probably the proper way to do it. I don't care. I just import them all. I don't think my website is going to load significantly slower because I imported some font variants that I'm not going to use. But anyways, now that we've done that, we can use those fonts. And I think it still doesn't, those fonts aren't going to show up in the builder, but they do show up on the front end. Unless they fixed it. Maybe they fixed it. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to our styles. Did they give us font family? They did. But they just called it font family. Like we're just going to only have one font family on the whole site. Let's do font headings. Maybe just heading. And then font paragraph. Row. Comma. There we go. And our headings are Oswald. Font heading, font paragraph. And then I think probably what I'm going to do is come over here and say H1, H2, H3, H4. I think I just saw Kevin Powell do a video about this. There's like a heading variable or something that's coming to CSS that will make it so we don't have to do what I'm doing right here. Come on. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to say font family. They already have it there, so font paragraph is what I said, and then we'll drop our heading stuff in there. Yeah. Wrong website. Let's see if this is working. Roboto, Oswald, it's working. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Failed to render heading element. Okay. Not sure why. That's weird. Huh. Pretend you didn't see that. Nothing to see here. This is an H2. This should probably be an H1. I think this can just be a paragraph like it is. Let's just drop a color white on here. Yeah. What do our buttons look like right now? They're just text, huh? Just text. Let's try. It gave us a couple button stuff here. Let's try button outline, eh? A? Let's try that. Let's see what it looks like. So it's... No, that's just CSS nesting. You can do that. This is just nesting things inside. So this technically, not really necessary, because what this is doing is this is saying when you nest it inside of an element like this, it's saying that this only applies to headings that are in the body tag, which everything's in the body tag. So this is not necessary. I'm just sort of used to nesting all the time. I could definitely grab this and just put it here. I'm actually, well, it was working. So I was wondering if they actually enabled this in the style sheet, because this global style sheet is new. Like 1 or 2 updates ago is when they added this global style sheet. So we didn't even used to be able to do this. But yeah, so if we pull it out of there, it should still work just fine. Yep, Roboto, Oswald. So you'll see that they do a lot of nesting. Yeah, I would say it's not wrong. It was just completely unnecessary for me to do that. Let's see here. So these buttons, did they give us button colors? Button primary is color white, background color, but I don't want that. I'm trying to use outline, which, oh, it says color neutral for that. I'm actually just going to get rid of that, because then it should inherit the color. Okay. So I'm going to nest, like we were just talking about. I did here color. I'm also going to say A. There we go. Now those are white. But I think I'm going to do a reset here. I'm pretty sure I never ever in my life want a link to have an underline. So I'm going to say A. Text decoration none. If I need an underline, I'll just overwrite it, but I don't think I'm ever going to need an underline, especially in a button. All right, so we need to change the hover color. Did they give me a... There's outline hover. They gave me a background color on that, but did not give me a regular color. So that's kind of weird, because if it's going to change the background to a light color, then it should also change the text color to a dark color, right? Which, let's see, I'm going to say primary dark. And we're going to make primary dark black for now. I might change it later to, like, you know, something more artistic, like dark gray, but probably not. Okay. Okay, let's make this text way bigger, shall we? This should probably be bigger too. What is the default font size again? Is it 16? Yeah. I think I want to at least font size base 16 pixels. Let's do 18 pixels. And then what else do we have? Font heading, font size, large. You know what? They already gave us an 18 pixel. So maybe, I don't know. They didn't give us any heading sizes. 18 pixels is the largest one they gave us. I think I'm going to say 18, 16, 20. And then I guess I'll just have to just make up something here. I should probably use a clamp value. Let's figure out how big I want it to be first. Theirs is bigger. Okay, let's say font size 6 rem. Uppercase. You can see the font is not working in the builder, but it is working on the front end. That's life sometimes, right? 7 rem looks okay. I think so. Okay, probably want to put like a max width on this too. Oh, let's see, how do I... Oh, I thought that's how you... Oh, because it's, There we go. Flex always screws everything up and then you have to fix it. Maybe it will add a little padding on top, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like we have another viewer here. I can't tell who's watching. I can only tell how many people are watching. So if you just joined, welcome to the stream. We are just rebuilding a soccer website right now. I'm going to give a little gap to that. Oh, it doesn't even, it's not even a flex yet. Here we go. There we go. Does that look better having the button with an outline, or I don't know. Let's add a little margin. I should be using my spacing variables. I'm trying to get better at remembering to use my variables. What do we got? Spacing medium is 1 rem. Let's do that. And then I also want to add a margin on top of here. I think that looks okay. I don't even think I'm going to bother messing with the padding. I think this is actually centered pretty okay here. It's not worth, I don't think it's worth adding more code. This should be clamped. Let's see. So right now it's 6 rem on desktop. Probably 3 rem. All right, let's try it. Looks pretty good. You can see it kind of shrinks itself as the screen shrinks. That's kind of nice. I do think I need to put this header in a max width. Can I just do it to the header? I don't think I need to wrap this in a div, do I? Yeah, I can just do it to the header. Okay, maybe a little bigger. I don't want to do another media query for this. All right, so if we do that, yeah, well, I think it's fine. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Max width 850, good enough. All right. Nope. Oh. Was that border really enough to... Okay, I guess it has to be 900 pixels. I was probably because my screen was also shrunk down while I was doing that. That wasn't smart. Okay. So there's a brief awkward part here where if your screen happens to be 830 pixels or whatever, you might get a full width on that header there. Let's see here. What you doing? Okay. All right, next section, I guess. I'm kind of liking this. This is where I think I want to use this kind of layout. Obviously, it's going to look different, but I think I'm going to go for this kind of layout here. Have some cards. Yeah. question is, do I want to create a loop? If I create a loop, I have to either create a custom post type and use that instead of regular pages, or I could add taxonomy to pages. Do pages have... I don't think pages have a any taxonomies built in. Like, do they have tags at least? No. No. I could use my JSON loop that I'm using for my menu, but I don't want... Let's see. I wouldn't want all of these links, so that wouldn't exactly work. So I could create another JSON loop for it. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to create a JSON loop similar to my menu. And we'll loop through that to create that layout. So let's create a new section. This section has a heading, then I had some text, and then it had 4 boxes. So we'll just drop a flex div in here. Inside each one we have an SVG, heading, and some text. So we'll call this card. This section is quick links. Container's fine, heading's fine, text is fine. I don't get too crazy about naming stuff. I feel like when you use BEM, you don't have to get too crazy, making everything super unique. And then we have card. Kevin would say that this card could be its own thing that you could pull out of this and drop somewhere else, so he would probably name it differently. I'm not going to. I think I'm going to call this good here. See what happens if I BEM this. Quick links heading. Yeah, I was worried about that. Quick links card. Quick links. I'm gonna say quick links. I can't do it there, dummy. Quick links card heading. Is that how we do this? Because it named this quick links card, so then we'll do quick links. Keep doing that. Quick links card dash dash SVG, and then quick links card dash dash text. Can't be styling this heading the same as that heading. That's not going to work. All right. Now for the SVG, I'm going to go old school. They just updated how SVGs work, but I'm still just going to... I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to copy all this and paste it in here for now. Actually, ooh. Since this is going to be a loop, I can't just do that. I have to put this... Alright, to tackle that, we'll tackle that a different way. I'm probably going to download some icons from an icon library like Bootstrap or something. Let's go ahead and let's get this styled, or not styled, but get some actual data in here. Quick links. Everything you need. Yeah, and I don't fully understand BEM yet either. Um, I don't know how you could tell it to, name things better. I think probably what you do is maybe you right click on this and BEM that first, or maybe you can BEM this and then maybe you can click on this and BEM. I don't know. I do see Kevin sometimes after he does auto BEM. I've seen him go through and kind of rename a couple classes before, so I think sometimes it's probably very difficult to create an auto BEM system that works the way you want it every single time. So I think it's normal to have to modify it a little bit afterwards. I also could have named these, if I wouldn't have named these both heading, I could have named this card heading. And I think probably that's what he does, because if I had named this card heading, and then when I did auto BEM, it would have called this quick links card heading instead of just quick links heading. So if you're smarter about how you name stuff, it's probably better for you in the long run. But I'm still learning how BEM even works. So what is this? We'll do some static data for now. It's going to be looped, so leave rules. Read our comprehensive rules and regulations. Read our league rules, whatever. All right, and I'm a dummy. So this needs to be in a div, which is going to be, I'm just going to call it grid, but for the class, it's going to be quick links, and then underscore grid. I think. Yes, I agree with that 100%. It's hard to think of everything all at once. So this is going to be, it's going to be a single column on mobile, of course. So I'm thinking at probably 768 pixels. We'll say grid template columns of 2. Am I supposed to give that a comma? I don't remember. And let's duplicate this. Yeah, this needs a comma. So there's 2 columns. Right about there. And then, well, let's actually start with 4 so we can see where it starts to look bad. These are small cards, so yeah. Yeah, I should do a container query, huh? These are pretty small cards. So maybe, well, let's get a gap in there too. Is that working? Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap. Maybe I'll do actually medium instead of small. So this could be 4 columns at 800 pixels. Maybe we just go straight to 4. Maybe on really small screens. Let's see here. It looks pretty good here. I don't know if the screen even gets that small. Okay. So I think we're going to stay with 2 and then just jump up to 4. And it goes down to 1 on really small screens. We also need to give my container the container class so we get some padding. I feel like my sections should have some block padding, some default block padding. What is medium? That's just 1 rem, I think. Let's do large. That did not work. Oh, I need to give the section. Let's stop doing. Let's not do. Oh, I'm so. Bro. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We could do this the right way. Let's say I wanted 430, so let's come down to 430. Whatever. Right click on this and say add has. This makes container queries possible. In order for something to work in a container query, the element that it's in, or at least some element that it's in, it doesn't have to be its direct parent, it could be its grandparent, whatever. Something above it has to have container type of inline size. And then we can click on this and say add container query. And that's interesting. It says 431 up here, but whatever. 430 is what I wanted, and then I'm going to grab this. It should be pretty much the same because right now my container is basically the full width of the screen. So I should be able to pretty much use the same values that I was using. And then I was saying about 800 pixels, so let's come out here to 800 pixels. Right click, add container query. We'll call this 800 pixels. And we'll grab this. And we'll put that in there. Now this should basically have the same effect that we just had. Yep, looks like it's working. Now Kevin won't get mad at me. I know Viking Monkey was gonna tattle. Probably already sent him a message on Twitter. Look what this joker's doing. Using media queries like it's the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you want. Since the grid is what I'm trying to change, at this width, I want the grid to be 4 columns. At this width, I want the grid to be 2 columns. That's where you put your container, or your, that's where you put your container query. And then this is a fancy little thing. You don't have to do this. You could instead just go to the parent. I could grab this. I'll comment this out for now. See, it's not working. And I could go to my container and I could add it there, and now it works. But this fancy thing here says whatever container this element exists in, give it this attribute. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. This is a fancy thing that says, hey, whatever the parent element of this element is, give it container type. That allows me to take this, I could turn this into a component and I could drop it anywhere and it will work in any element. Because I normally, if I drop this somewhere, then I have to go to that element's parent element and add container type inline size to it. But because I have this, this is automatically going to add container type inline size to whatever the parent element of this element is. So this is a pretty fancy little selector tool. I don't even know if this is regular CSS or if this is something Etch made up, honestly. But you can see it's working. Goes down to 2 columns at about the 800 pixels we chose, and then it can't go small enough. I have to use the inspect tool to get small enough to get down to 1 column. So let's do that. Get this out of the way. Yep, so it goes down to 1 column at a very small screen size that probably no one has a phone that small. Oh, I see. I think I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is telling me the width of my screen here, but my container isn't necessarily the same width. Let's see if I do, so this is 749. If I add a media query, it says 749. If I add a container query, yeah, it's a little different. Because the container, maybe it's taking into account like the padding. Interesting. Yeah, I see. I think I see what you're saying now. I thought I was answering a completely different question that you weren't asking. My bad. All right. How do I want to do these? I probably want to center all these, right? These are already flex, and they're already flex column by default. So if I say line items, that looks good. Do I even need, is that too much? Yeah, I think that's good. I think this needs a little bit more. I think there's a little margin up there. Is that too much? That looks okay. I'm terrible at spacing. Absolutely terrible. Why does this look all weird? Oh, because it's zoomed out. Okay, let's get out of this. We do have radius. Radius, small, medium, large. Got text stuff, spacing stuff, button stuff. More radius. So it just created some utility classes for some reason. Maybe I will use those actually. Maybe that's the, I don't know. Rounded. Let's try it. Let's say card rounded medium. And they didn't give us any border utility classes or anything. So maybe I just have to go border 1 pixel solid primary dark. padding in there. Should I give these a background? Should I give the section that they're in a background? Looks a little boring at the moment, especially coming after this. This looks pretty neat. And then I think they do black background. Yeah, the black background. Oh, and they even have an image there. I don't know if that's too much. But I think maybe just making this a black background would make it look better with some white text. What if... Is that too much? Hey, Sol, what you doing? We are building a site. We are rebuilding this site. This site was built on Themify, and we're going to rebuild it in Etch. We have our header done. It's mostly done. I need to change the background on the nav on mobile. We got our hero section done. These pages don't exist yet, but these links work. Or they don't work because I didn't add a link yet to them. Yeah, and now we're working on this section. I'm kind of stealing... I had AI create a website for a soccer page, and I'm going to steal some of the elements from it, I think. As you can see, I didn't really steal anything from the header or the hero section. Hey, Athlone, am I saying that right? Athlone? But I think I am basically going to, for the most part, kind of steal this layout for the section we're working on right now. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to style it. Well, they gave me a dark mode. Yeah, I think this looks kind of good. Maybe I'll just kind of steal this. The background color for the card. Opacity? Is it just the same? What's the background color for this whole section? Border color. Border color. Is it the whole main that has a background color on it? Border color, bro. Body, background color, okay. So it's, they're using var background. And then this for the card. My background color, I lost it. Isn't it right here? Yeah, background color right there. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna just steal this in hex form. background. Let's try this. Is that dark enough? Does it look weird not being as dark? Let's see if I just... Come down a little bit on that. And then come down a little bit on this. Is this too dark? Too dark and brooding? This might look okay. Maybe I'll even make this my primary dark. And then secondary dark. Could be my card. All right. Thank you, Soul. I appreciate the confirmation. I don't know words. Let's create a loop, eh? So we can get some real data. I could get fancy, try to reuse my menu loop. I just need to exclude certain items from it. So what I could do is, well, I'll give you the really quick and dirty version, Saul, which is I just went to the docs. I created a header component, which was literally just an element, a header element that was empty. And then I turned that into a component. And I added a slot to that component. And then all I did was grab this from their docs by going to Elements, Dynamic Elements, Basic Nav. Copied this. And then in my index template, in the slot, I hit Control V to paste it in. That's what this nav component is. And then I went back and I grabbed this hamburger component, clicked on that to copy it, came in here, Control V again to paste it. And then that was basically it. After that, I just had to edit my loop. So this is a JSON loop. So this is where my menu items are coming from. About, join, and then there's the sub menu for join, for membership, registration. So that's basically what I did. After that, of course, I put some effort into all the styling and everything to make it look the way I wanted. But that's how I got the nav up and running. So But yeah, definitely rewatch it so you can see that. I've also created a header and some other videos, but those videos were different because they updated their docs. They used to put separately HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you had to go in and copy the HTML, paste it, copy the CSS, paste it. It was more work. Now they put it all into this single component. This is basically just a big JSON object that includes all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you can just click on this, go in and paste it in. So it's a lot faster now. So definitely rewatch this video to see how to create that header. And then if you watch any of my older videos, just know that it's going to look different and it's going to be more of a pain in the butt in the older videos than it is now. So, but I'm going to try to reuse this loop for what we're doing right now, but I don't want all these items in it. I just want rules, registration, schedule, and contact. I don't even have rules in my main menu. Oof. Well, good. Hopefully you can get that working. Do I want to reuse this loop? Now that I'm thinking I can't reuse it because I don't have rules, but also maybe I want rules in my main menu. I think I do want rules in my main menu. So check this out. So since we're talking about menus, this is how cool this is. It's going to be very easy for me to add a new item to my menu. All I do is come in here, and they'll have a UI for this later, so you don't have to use JSON, but I'm just going to go like this, label rules, and then URL/rules. And give this a comma. That's not a comma. A comma, and that's it. And now I have another item in my menu. Bada bing, bada boom. So now what I'm going to do, so that I can reuse this loop, I'm going to add to every one of these, or not all of them, but the ones that I want to use in my section that I'm building right now. I'm going to add quick link. Yes. And schedule I want, right? Yep, schedule, contact, registration. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Oh, this isn't going to... Dadgummit. All right, I'm just going to create a new loop. Forget all this stuff that I just did. This loop isn't similar enough to what I'm doing to just modify an existing. So I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to create a loop and I'm going to call it quick links. And it's not a WordPress, it's a JSON data. And I'm going to say, I'm actually going to steal this. The same structure. Stop that. Okay, and we want rules, registration, schedule, contact. Rules, registration, schedule, contact. I think I should be good. I've used the same playlist in other videos before. It claims that it's DMCA free and copyright free, and YouTube hasn't got mad at me yet. So I think we're okay. Okay, so now that we've created this JSON loop, I'm going to come over to my page. Where were we? Home page. And my cards, I'm going to delete these 3 extra cards. I'm going to wrap this card in a loop. And the loop, I'm going to choose the loop we just created, quick links. And then all I have to do is remember these. What are these called? Key, I think. This is the key. This is the value, I think. We're going to just remember that. So we're going to come here and instead of typing league rules, we're going to type, actually, what is our loop? Item. I'm actually going to change that to link just because I think that makes a little more sense. You can call this whatever you want. You can leave it as item. I like to change it to something that makes a little more sense. So then for this, I'm going to say link.label, I believe is what it is. Yep. Rules, registration, schedule, contact. Perfect. I need to add something to our object for this. So let's go back to our quick links and we'll say, I don't know, we can call this whatever you want, content. And then I'm going to pull this to my other screen so I can do this easier. Where was that? Content. So read our league rules. Sign up for the upcoming session. Whatever. And get in touch with the league. Get in touch with the board members. Sure. Save that. Because now we can come back here, click on this, and say link.content. There we go. And I think what I want to do is wrap the whole card. Yeah, I'm going to wrap the whole card in a link. And I can say href equals this, no, link.url. Okay, and then I have to do some CSS to make that not look stupid, but I want to just make sure it's actually working. All right, rules, registration, cool, seems to be working. Schedule and contact. Perfect. Now, what can we do? What can we do here? Should this just be centered? Probably need to center that text. Let's give this a class of quick links card link. I don't know. We've talked about this. I suck in naming stuff. Let's see here. Color. Primary light, that worked. Cool. I just do text line center on that. Yep. I want these cards to be the same height, and there's probably a smart way to do that. I don't know it, other than giving it a fixed height, which I know there's got to be a better way. I think that works. Yep. I don't like this, but that's what I'm doing. If one of the 3 people watching right now know of a better way to do that, then let me know. Okay. I think this looks all right, yo. think this looks all right. Where did my example go? We can do a little bit with the hover on this, of course. No. Oh my gosh, I hate Windows so much. Just because I dragged it to the bottom doesn't mean I wanted you to make the window full screen, dude. Like, if I want it full screen, I will double click on the top. Let's see here. All right, so what are we doing for hover? Hover, hover, hover. Hover? Oh, here's the... color, background color. Huh. It's cheap. Let's see here. What was I doing? The card, we'll say hover. All right. Subtle. That's the way I like it. Oh man, my neck hurts, y'all. I just realized this stuff needs to be centered. No. Yep. Okay. Etch nav list. Easy peasy. There we go. That probably just destroyed mobile. Yep. Perfect. So then they have this section, which looks pretty similar, I think, kind of to this. Just kind of some images and some text. Which one do I like better? Text on the left. I mean, first of all, I think I just want one image. I don't think I need to have two images here. I mean, does this technically make more sense? Most of us read from left to right, right? So does it make just general, and does it make sense to have the text on the left? Probably. Okay, let's do that. Heading, text in a list with an image. Well, let's get out of here, go back to our home page. Add another section. I think this is just called about. Sol agrees with me. Perfect. That's 2 times now. 2 times Sol has agreed with me. I'll take it. Must be doing something right here. What was I doing? Section. They did. So they're kind of going back and forth between these two kind of grayish backgrounds. I went a little darker with mine. So maybe I could do something similar though and kind of go with a lighter background for this next section. Is it just me, or does this background look like the same color as these card backgrounds? Which I called secondary dark. Let's try this. Oh, let's get our structure first. I'm getting ahead of myself. What do we need? We need 2 divs in here. I'm going to call this content, and we'll call this image, and we'll make this a figure. And inside of that is an image. Up here we had heading, text, text. All right, let's go. Okay, we got, so this container needs to be flex direction row. We'll throw a gap in there of large. This will be flex, it's already flex. But should I do a probably should do that. Founded in 2015. I don't even know if that's correct. Did they steal this from our existing website? No, not exactly. I'm just gonna steal this. I don't know where the AI came up with this. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. We're not gonna even have this. We're going to throw in the register link. So this is about underscore text. We'll call this about underscore CTA. Okay. I'm going to use their image, I think. This just looks more real. It's still not us, but this just looks more like, no, okay. It looks more like a candid picture, but it also looks stupid because you will never see that many players just... This looks like when you watch 8-year-olds play soccer and everybody on every team is just chasing the ball. So I kind of don't like that. Maybe let's, these are just too like obviously fake. What do we got? Anything in here that just doesn't look stupid? I don't know, man. I'm going to use this for now. And then I'm going to see if the board can actually give me some decent pictures. It is not terrible. All right, what do we have for buttons? You have a button primary, button secondary. Let's just see what those look like, eh? What color should I use? Current site definitely has this red thing going on, and they're just using a bright red button. I don't know about bright red, but I think I will use a red. Let's say, can I do that? Yeah, and then maybe just, should I go this way with it? A little darker, just not quite that bright red, just tone it down a little bit. That kind of looks good. Primary. I don't think I'm doing variables right, but that's what we're doing. And then I think what I want to do is for the hover state, we'll kind of call it like this. And then maybe we'll call that accent light. Oh, let's go back. And then our button primary background color is accent. Button primary hover is accent light. Looks like they're moving the button up on hover for some reason. That seems unnecessary. Yeah, we don't need to do that. Get that out of here. Just a subtle little change when you hover over it. All right, Nightman. Thanks for joining. What's this look like on mobile? We need to go to one column, probably before this. Maybe once it gets to the point where, right about here. So right about there, I think. We need our about container. I'm going to say add this, and I'm going to say add container query, and we'll say flex direction column. Well, that's not working. Is it because greater than? Yeah, this needs to be less than. There we go. Yeah. Thank you. I think I'm making pretty good progress too. I don't think I want this to be full, so I'm going to say line self flex start. I think I like this. Do you guys think this is big enough? I'm tempted to make it a smidgen bigger. What do you guys think of that? Not for those, but for this and this, I think that looks a little better. And then these should not be H2s, these should be H3. Okay. So what do you mean that it looks good on your phone? Are you watching this video on your phone? Because this site's not live. These are too small now. Okay. For a second, I thought you hacked my computer. You're looking at my local website on your computer or your phone. That's good to know that you're watching on your phone and it looks good. I'm tempted. What, two rim for these, do we think? This almost seems too big. 1.5 seems too small. 1.75. Let's do that. All right, Viking, thanks for sticking around, man. It's been 2.5 hours almost. I think I'm liking this. And then that's it. That's all we have on the home page right now is just the hero and this about. So now we have hero, some quick links, and about. I'm thinking I might bump up the padding on these sections a little bit. Extra large. Oh boy, that again. Weird. Okay. So I think that could be it for the home page. I need to create a footer. Do we even have a footer right now? We don't even have a footer at the moment on the current site. Our AI generated site gave us a footer. Easy enough to create. Okay. Okay. Let's go to our templates, index. Now, this is going to say the name of the site. Given that, should it be an H1? Even if it's not styled the same as a normal H1? Also, it actually should just be our logo. Yeah, never mind. It's just going to be a logo, not a heading. Is that a data key that's available? Not yet. All right. I'll just have to do it all static like then. We'll just drop in an image. It's our logo. Oh, this is kind of annoying. Can't really see what I'm doing because it's not putting any content in here. It's too bad. We'll just have to trust that I know what I'm doing without having to look. All right, our middle, now this. Oh, and after the image, we do have some text, it looks like. Yeah, so let's add some text. And then in here we have a little heading, and then we have our menu, which I want to try to reuse the menu, but I don't know. Well, I can't reuse the menu because that comes with a lot of CSS and JavaScript, but I think I'll just use the same loop, the same JSON object. So I'll just add a link for now. No, not inside the heading. And then here, it's another heading. And just some text after that. I might even make these H4s. Not sure it matters too much. It's just a footer. Just a footer. Oh, these are the same as these. So do I want just these here, or do I want my whole header menu? I think I'll just do the quick links, and I'll just reuse that loop for this. Okay. Oh, did I do this again? Yep, I need to wrap this in a div. Hey, yes, Matt, welcome. Matt is in the same soccer league that I'm in, that this website is for. He's also a WordPress guy. And if I remember correctly, I think you were able to convince your job to use Etch, at least for some projects. All right, what was I doing? So this needs to be a loop. I'm going to wrap this in a loop, and we're going to choose quick links. And all we're gonna do is for the text, it's the, I'm gonna change this to link again. The text is link dot, I think it was label. And then the URL is link.url. Oh, you just rebuilt your company's website. Nice. You got to do that? All right, that's working. So we need to make our footer container a flex direction of row with the gap of, I don't know, spacing large. Probably. There we go. It's coming together. I think I need to give this the class of container so that it's centered and all that. Yeah, there we go. Why is this though? Okay, I think yeah, that's awesome. It's good to start with something basic. How do I want to do this? I hate footers. I hate them. I need this. So this is lining up pretty nice. What's the best way? Here's the AI robots. Theirs is pretty close. Doesn't quite come all the way over here, but it's close. Oh, so they set up a 4-column grid. And then this takes up 2 columns. I'm using flex, but I suppose I could. What happens? Nothing, because that's already what it is, I think. Okay, what's the best way to do this? I could center everything. That would make it look a little better, maybe. This wouldn't line up anymore if I did that. I could do what they're doing. Set up a grid. Would it look silly if I just centered these two? I want it on all of them. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, that doesn't do anything. I always hate this. I hate... Oh, okay. I think I might just do grid, just like the AI robot did. It wasn't perfect, but it worked pretty well. I haven't done that with grid before, so let's figure that out. Let's say display grid, and we won't mess with the media query right now. We'll just get it figured out. Grid, template, columns. So we have 4 columns. And then we need to make this one span the first 2 columns. And let's see how they did that. Just grid column. I'm just going to copy this. That is definitely better. That got this a lot closer to my container edge there. This looks a little weird now. Oh, it might look less weird if I filled this space up with some text. The Premier Adult Soccer League bringing together players of all skill levels for blah blah blah. This was definitely written by AI. The Premier Adult Soccer League in Cedar Rapids. We're getting somewhere. These are H3s, I think, aren't they? Oh, H4s. Give me the autocomplete. Thank you. We don't even have real contact information yet, so we'll just drop this in here for now. What was I doing for? I was doing XL? Do I want XXL? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so when did that... I think I'm going to use the same breakpoint that we use on our home page there, which was... What are we doing? We're doing grid, so we just want to go... Oops. 1. Yeah, that's interesting. Supposed to be grid template column 1. And then because this first one is spanning 2, that's odd that that's not the behavior I would expect. Since there's nothing for it to span to, since it's now just one column, I would have expected it to just be one column. I kind of don't hate this though. It's weird how... Does this look better than just having it all one column? It might look a little better actually. I don't like either one, but... Huh. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now, honestly. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's make this footer a component. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, this. Yeah. Do the same thing to our header. Oh, except it's in our slide, isn't it? Yeah. Here we go. All right. I think I'm going to call it for the day. We got the header, footer, and the entire homepage done. So maybe, okay, I'm going to fix this quick. Is it just the nav? Yeah. Which is Etch nav. Let's see here. I wanted, right? No, I don't want a white background. I want black background. Yeah. What's that fancy Etch way of adding like a transparency? I need to figure that out. It's like trans. There's a way to do it. I gotta figure that out. There's like a shorthand autocomplete thing that you can just type and then it will. That might be an ACSS thing actually. I don't know. I think I want it to be a little bit less opaque. So I might just cheat. Do this. Yeah, Nick probably knows how to do that. Okay. There's also a way, I forget, they just announced that you can choose, I think it was in the component. If you want to click or hover. Yeah, mouse submenu, click plus hover flyout. Let's do click. Yeah, now you have to click on that to get it to open. That's pretty neat. Click, click. Yeah, so that's something new that they just added to this menu that you can steal from their docs. I like that. All right, I'm calling it. It's been almost 3 hours. Oh, we got quite a bit done, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream again tonight and start working on some other pages. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow. I don't know. But I got to go do something else and drink some water. Building websites makes me thirsty, man. I'm dehydrated. Thanks, everyone who joined and watched. And thanks for the conversation. And I will see you.